unnatural as the flora and fauna just kind of try and take over, but it's nothing malicious in it. It's basically being enveloped in water, hence the Iron Oak Ocean. A couple of minutes later, you start to come out from under and below the canopy itself, and again, you get the same description as we gave to Gaz and Melgrim. You are in a horrible, dark forest. Your area is pretty cold, though. Very, very cold, very dark. Do you have dark vision? I think you're a half orc anyway, so you will have dark
Yeah.
vision. Can't remember if the turtles do.
I don't know. Light.
Yeah. What you casting light on?
I pull a torch from my pack, but rather than light it, I just light because
Yeah.
I'll be able to switch it out immediately.
No bother. So, Sir Janice, you will have your full dark vision at this point now. You will have vision up to a point, Ralph, as you start to float down. Again, the noises around you can hear the ship being slowly sunk and swallowed into the canopy itself. Interestingly enough, you can't see the rest of the ship. In fact, interestingly enough, you can't see the body of the Kraken. You reckon that maybe they're still attached to the ship and the death throes it was as it started to constrict and coil around the ship itself. However, that's not your pressing concern as you look down and you can't see anything. You can't even see any floor. Wherever you are, you can't see a lot.
Sorry,
However,
just so I understand. So I'm with Bard and Vannon. Okay,
no,
that's fine.
Vannon is not there. Vannon is
Vannon's
nowhere.
not his, okay.
Yeah, you've seen
So just
Vannon
me and Sir
fly off.
Francis then, yeah?
Yeah, Vannon flew off in a different direction, as did Gaz and Melgrim. They flew off quite separate, just from because they were at the front of the ship as it cracked in on itself and just flung them.
Okay.
You managed to jump off just before that, which was your deck saves.
Okay.
So,
while I was coming down, I was trying to keep eyes as much as I could on Nim and Daphne, and if not them, something that shows me which way they've been, bits of cloak getting caught. I know that would have been hard, but what I'm basically looking for is to work out what way I would have went and what direction I'll head as soon as I get to the ground.
to be fair, with Featherfall, you do have time to do that kind of thing. I wouldn't say it was an investigation check, but you can certainly are allowed to do a perception check if you wish. Just yourself, though. What would you like to do, Sir Janice?
At this point in time, I'm just trying to. I'm not aware of any of the danger going on, so I'm just trying to look as majestic as possible as I come down. I'm trying to float down as if I am a flying squirrel.
And then 3-point landing at the end, obviously.
Naturally, super landing all the way.
Yeah, I get that. I would want to say performance check, but maybe an acrobatics check.
Dang. Okay, let's see what we get today.
And Ralph, if you could give us a perception check.
What I'll do, obviously, once I land on the ground, I'm nowhere. I'm not even trying to look. I bang into some things. I hit the ground. I hit the shoulder. I immediately just push myself back up, and I hold on to my kind of not totem, my religious symbol that I use, which kind of been a bit enhanced, and I hold it to my chest and I say, "Dear Lady of the Ocean, please bring me to my friends." And I dump my D8, what I can use once a day, into it.
Yes.
And so as it kind of lightly glows, the feather kind of takes on like more of a sheen to it. Say, just play a game to the friends that I have lost right now. And then I'm rolling. What is it? Did you say an investigation or perception?
Perception check, and then add a D8 to it because you're using your once a day ability on your new your souped up. Holy.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh god. Although
13.
that's not bad considering that was a good use of the D8.
Considering you rolled a 2.
Yeah.
His natural failure points him to Melgrim.
It takes you a while, Ralph.
Why do you despise me, lady? Why have you brought me to my worst enemy?
Strike him now, Ralph. It takes you a while, simply because you're floating, you're going, and then you've got this foot, and then this hand hitting off the back of your head as Sir Janice
just
cartwheeling
leg
slightly just out of the way, and then he comes back round and he starts to float around. You're going, oh, for God's sakes! But eventually, the guiding light of your patron, your deity, even shall we say, patron's something different. The deity, you see and just this little light fly off, and you can. It's takes a while before the little light lands and then just dissipates on this very strange platform. The platform is particularly strange because it looks rudimentally made and is very much made of old ships and things. Something similar to the description I'd given Daphne with the one she landed on. As a little light lands and just kind of ripples out like a droplet within water. There is nothing on the platform, but there is a platform there nonetheless.
So look at this is something that's been constructed down here by someone else.
Without getting you get a wee bit closer
Ralph
to
says
see.
aloud, "This appears to be constructed down here by someone else. However, I do not have time for this. I'm looking for my
Gamers.
friends."
Yeah. You'll as you do look, it's rudimentary. It is possible it may have just came out to be a part of the ship. It's also possible that someone has made it. You can't tell from this distance, but it is solid ground. It's probably the best place to go.
Yeah, if it's a vantage point, I'm going to try and get up to it. Is there like a rope to it, a ladder? Do I have to climb? I can't imagine climbing
No,
a
you're
tree.
still
Decent.
floating at this point down, and you've got very little time to make it. Yeah, if you could both make me, well, no, we'll
I
I'll
know, yeah,
say
okay.
Janice has disadvantage because of his poor attempt at trying to make Majestic. We'll call this athletics if you want to swim. If you want to
Okay,
be
I
more
will-
Majestic, you certainly can do acrobatics, so Mr. Janice.
Mine are both
Yeah,
terrible,
but
but
that
I
would-
will. I'll
Yeah.
dump a guidance into it, just a regular one.
Fucking clerics, man.
Jesus, I'm terrible at that. So yeah, that doesn't matter. I'm fucked. I kept 6. Oof.
You start to make your way over.
Ugh.
It'll be interesting to see how Sir Janice works this.
We're both looking at. I'm looking forward to this too.
Our 14 viewers are also. Oh!
he smashed it, mate.
17.
And now disadvantage.
And now the to be fair, his acrobat. Oh,
fair enough.
22.
Fair
No,
It
that's
starts
a
looking majestic now.
Yeah, you
There we
see
go.
Ralph. Surprisingly for a turtle, he's not the best of swimmers. But then you remember there's very little bodies of water to swim. So swimming is not a concept in this land, much.
If this was water, I'd be killing it. Okay, I just have
Yeah,
you
if
know.
it was
as a-
water though, he would be killing it because it is
Yeah.
water land and where he comes from. But however,
Yes.
Wishes
he's
were
very
much-
slow. Yeah, very much a turtle on land. Very slow, very methodical. As you go, boom, and you kind of just land on him, go into a 360 spin, as you start to spiral towards it at speed.
Can I grab out to his leg as he's pushed off me and kind of like just kind of
Yeah.
just kinda,
With 22 as well, and it was acrobatics. You land perfectly. You kind of just as you're about to land, you let go of him. He skids. Ralph skids onto his shell and spins a little bit forward 5 feet as you stop
I
in
actually fully
midair.
retract into the shell when that
Yeah.
happens. Oh, shit.
As Sir Janice lets go, rights himself right, does a couple of somersaults, and then boom, lands in a hero pose, and
I
no
can
one's
hear
seen it.
the applause in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all creaks and groans of the woods. Yeah, you take it. You take applause where you get it. Yeah.
It's just Mousy going, "Yay."
Mousy, for those of you who don't know, is a character that's no longer in the game.
Not anymore.
No.
Or is
Nope.
he? Mousy is a big
Is
bad.
they? Is they?
Yeah, Mousy is a big bad. I forgot to tell you.
Maybe
Oh,
Nim is going to play Mousy from now on.
maybe Nim was Mousy all along.
Yes.
Dun, dun.
So yeah, you land perfectly. Unfortunately, Ralph didn't even get to see it because he decided to retreat into his shell as he pops out just as the moment as you stop the pose.
Great. So yeah, we'll land it. Brilliant. And then I'm just going to look around for
Yes,
my friends.
right.
I don't really care about what he's doing.
What was that you said, David?
I did say yes. I did land brilliantly. Thank you for noticing.
Cool. Guiding bolt.
At this point, both of you, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Is this an air-related thing? Because I can hold my breath for an hour.
You certainly can. If you wish to do that, then we will say, yeah, you don't need to take it now if you don't want to. Yes. Okay.
I can still talk. Though. I'm just
breath.
I don't really
Yeah,
know
yeah.
how that works. It seems weird.
It's kind of like an air sac. Yeah, you're fine, Janice. you spent most of your time within the Freightus Lux Temple below the mountains. In fact, that's where your companions had met you previously in the dungeons there. So you've been used to being below. So you pass fine. No need to roll again until you exit. You sure you don't want to do it now, Ralph? I mean, that's an hour's okay. However, you're on this rudimentary platform.
Yeah. Is it obviously connected to the tree, or does it look like it got caught?
It's. And you can make an investigation check now if you wish.
Doop, 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 doop. Sweet lady, get me with this.
Guidance. Goddamn clerics.
About-
Chat, if you agree with me
Oh,
on
God.
this. Clerics, man.
Clerics are
Hold on.
OP.
22.
Monks are OP, to be fair.
I, for one,
Yeah.
really dislike clerics. Except when I'm playing clerics, then they're amazing.
Yeah. Hey, clerics. Chat, help me out here. Clerics.
Just to clarify, anyone ever watched this, Scott has actually rolled a save against getting guidance before.
Yeah, he doesn't like it. He does. There's a history there. You may or may not find out this
You might
episode.
pick up on this subtle
The
subtle
salt-
animosity between the characters at some point during the game as we
It's
try to
very
kill each
subtle.
other.
It's very hidden. Not only do you do that, in fact, I'll see with that natural 20. Give us a history roll or survival, your choice.
I'm proficient in both, however, I'll do it in survival because my survival is better.
Okay.
16.
Yeah, this is definitely, it's not man-made. Probably the best way I could tell you. Because man is human.
You just mean intelligent humanoid. That's all you mean by man. Let's just
it's,
settle down.
Sentience has made this.
Yeah.
As something here has been purposely put here. And then you start to remember back from the stories, even from back in the day when you heard that bard singing on Flotsam Isles about the ode or the tale of the Lancer, about the attack from the Kreen, or the Kreen, as we would know for people watching, the three Kreen, who reside within the canopies, or tribes of them have known to reside. You think this might be some of their handiwork. Not only that, with the natural 20 on the investigation, remembering back to the conversation you had with Captain Tinning up on the Broken Oar, they didn't just say they were attacked by the Kraken. The Kraken had a go at the Broken Oar at the time, but it retreated. However, the three Kreen were also there at one point and ambushed them, which had done more damage to the boat, to the ship, which meant they couldn't repair it as well. So when you got back with the relevant materials to try and help, that's when the Kraken attacked for the second or third time. So this looks, it's rudimentary, but it looks maybe like a staging post or somewhere where the three Kreen can keep an eye on things.
I will relay the information to Sir
Constant
Janice.
investigation as well, as you start to notice, you start to look around. Even though it's quite dark, you start to notice vantage points. Even above you, there is some more of these platforms. This looks pretty well done.
I'll point out to Janice, this appears to be some area, perhaps. And I'm thinking back to whether we were on shipping lanes or not. I wonder if the Queen have these kind of lands along where we ship most of our goods. A lot of attacks happen in the water.
So you're telling me that we're standing literally in the bases of the things that have been attacking us?
Think of it more as a staging pole. This could be used for a month and then abandoned for years, or it could be used every month. I don't know. But looking around here, from the natural, is it fairly well maintained? Does it look like that's?
It's not well maintained. It's been built for purpose. That is it.
This,
However,
yeah.
from that conversation of you're saying, and you were asking about the shipping lanes, if you remember, you had to go off the shipping lanes because you were looking for a specific island for the Freightus Lux Temple, as you were looking for your companions.
Yeah, I'll relay that. Yeah, based upon that, this is perhaps an old one, but I see more, and they'll be like the unnatural shapes. I can maybe see through the light of the canopy. That like there and there.
Yeah. As for the little light that was coming through, and again from investigation, you start to realise that this is actually not a bad place, because you can start to see parts of the ship